Now, yes, I have reviewed this movie before, 6 years ago actually. It's when I had a crappy camera and I really just don't like that video. So I figured this June, Jurassic World Dominion, my most anticipated movie of the entire year, is coming out. I'm going to give a lot of updated reviews of the Jurassic Park movies. Now, 2 years ago during lockdown, I reviewed Jurassic Park with an okay camera, but it's also a 25-minute movie review of my favorite movie of all time. So if you want to go watch that, go watch that. But today we're talking about one of the most underrated, greatest sequels of all time. The Lost World Jurassic Park stars Jeff Goldblum and Julianne Moore, and is about a research team is sent to Jurassic Park Site B island to study the dinosaur there, while an InGen team approaches with another agenda. Now, if you don't really know me, Jurassic Park is my favorite movie of all time. That original movie I have watched over 200 times in my life. I'm not kidding. It is a movie I watch at least 10 times a year. It is an addiction to me. But I never really talk about the sequels as much as the first one because, again, the first one is so much just a perfect movie to me. So for this movie to come out in 1997, a movie that is very different from the original movie. Now, it is based off the Michael Crichton book, which I have not read. I've only read the first book. And with this movie, growing up, this movie scared the crap out of me because, okay, I've always said the first Jurassic Park movie is a horror adjacent. It is a movie that deals with horror aspects. In this movie, same kind of deal, still more of an adventure film if you ask me, but I will say, this movie to me is way more darker than the first one. And even though this movie is very different from the first one, that doesn't make it a bad movie because I think a lot of people trash on this movie for not being like the first one. I'm glad that this movie is so different because you don't want the same thing over and over again. When we get the Jurassic World films in a couple months, I will talk about how those movies are more of a 21st century Jurassic Park kind of movie. This movie came out literally 4 years after the original movie, and Spielberg said, hey, Joe Johnston, you want to do this one or you want to do the third one? Because the trilogy was always planned, basically, because the first one was a mega hit. So with this movie, Spielberg did direct this movie, and Joe Johnston will direct the third one, which we'll talk about probably next month. So for this movie going in, I think a lot of people back then were just like, Jurassic Park, yay, yay, yay. And they walked out disappointed. And I think after years and years, this movie has gotten more respect out of a lot of people. But I still know a lot of people out there that hate this movie, that call it trash, call it some of the worst movie of the entire franchise, which I totally disagree with. But that is your opinion, and for me, it's an underrated sequel. It's a movie that, growing up, I did watch a lot. I've seen this movie probably 100 times in my life. Not as much as the first one, but this movie takes things that isn't like the first one, makes it different, and gives you a whole new movie. Spielberg's direction is amazing in this movie. I mean, I can't even comprehend how much he is an inspiration to me. Spielberg is the greatest director of all time, in my opinion. I literally will watch any movie he does. Anytime I see a movie comes out with Spielberg's name, I'm there. And for this movie, I respect him a lot because I think watching this movie, he approaches it like, hey, Jurassic Park, the first movie, is a lot of love movie. Kids can watch it, adults obviously watch it. If you watch this movie, the sequel, it honestly feels more adult. It's more, like I said, darker. And I think Spielberg knew going in, hey, I'm telling a different story. It is a sequel to Jurassic Park, but this is this story of them going to Site B, finding these dinosaurs, and turns out InGen is trying to get all these dinosaurs onto the mainland. And I think that is a more intriguing and different story than the first one, which obviously is park hasn't even opened, park collapses, dinosaurs are out. Then, of course, you have Stan Winston's amazing dinosaurs. I mean, these things are real. They might be robots in real life, but no, these things are real. Every time it's a wide shot of the dinosaurs, it's usually CGI, which is always my preferred of how they do it. Usually when it's close up, it's always animatronics, it's always the robots. Why won't they do this anymore in the new movies? A lot of the newer movies is a lot more CGI and like 20% the robots. I hate that. I really do. In this movie, literally most of the time is robots. Wide shots is usually CGI. Heck, even the raptors, even though it's pretty much a lot harder with the raptors since really a wide shot or even a close-up shot can just show off the entire raptor because they're much smaller. So I can see why those are more CGI, but come on, guys. I mean, the 21st century, we can see more robots. The opening scene alone, these little compies, I mean, literally, it's robots. It's little tiny robots, and when they start jumping around this little girl, then it's CGI. That's right there. Those little details in the movie shows how much care behind the filmmakers are with this movie. They're not just doing CGI, just do CGI. No, they're actually making these little dinosaurs, and it looks amazing for a 1997 movie. It still looks amazing. Now, obviously, Jeff Goldblum is the star of this movie this time around, which makes sense because obviously in the first movie, everyone loved Ian Malcolm. And so in this movie, he's not Ian Malcolm. He's a more darker, tamed Ian Malcolm because, guys, I mean, he literally was on like a surviving death situation with dinosaurs, and so now he's wanting to get his girlfriend back, and his kid just snuck onto the trucks in the island, which, of course, that little family drama, is it needed? Not really, but it's there to add drama, and you know what? You need that in movies. You need to keep the audience intrigued and have more suspense. So I understand it for plot things, but in all honesty, the whole daughter situation, it's just there. It's nothing like too dramatic for me, even though, of course, the stupid scene when she's, you know, jumping, doing gymnastics, and kicking a raptor and it killing it and stuff. Yeah, that's the worst scene in the entire movie besides the ending. Yeah, that scene is stupid, but literally, like, her whole character is not really necessary. Jeff Goldblum, though, he's great. He's great as Ian Malcolm. I do like the more tamed version because, again, he's been through some shit. And Julianne Moore, she's not like amazing or anything, but she's a really good side character. She's nice. She's smart. I like Julianne Moore, so nothing really bad about her. Vince Vaughn, I mean, you don't even know it's Vince Vaughn. He's literally a very, very minor role. He's very small in this movie, and he's just Vince Vaughn. Now, also, as a hardcore Jurassic Park fan, the first trilogy always has a raining scene and also has an attack scene. Jurassic World movies don't usually have attack scenes. They're not as good as these ones. So this one, of course, is the bus attack scene, and I honestly, it kind of rivals the first one. Again, there's no music, just like the first one. All it is dinosaurs attacking a bus. But the direction, the intensity in this scene, I mean, before Jeff Goldblum even gets back to the bus, and he's on top of this little thing in the woods, and you hear the T-Rex roar, crushing the woods, coming towards the bus, that is great stuff there. That is great intensity without even seeing the dinosaur. And when he gets in that RV, and he shuts that door, and they are literally outside the window, looking inside of them, trying to say, hey, we want our baby back. Talk about a very, very intense scene that is masterfully just directed. Again, no music. All it is T-Rex roars, people breathing really hard, and more T-Rex roars. That is all, and it's really intense. And also, of course, the rain helps because rain in movies usually means more darker tones. So this scene is amazing. And of course, when the dinosaurs come back and flip the bus.
Hang on, this is gonna be bad. Pushing us over the cliff.
Oh my god. It is perfect directing. And then, of course, them attacking the bus, pushing it over. The great scene with Julianne Moore on top of the glass window, which is literally gut-wrenching intensity. I love the bus scene. It is one of my favorite scenes in the Jurassic Park franchise. It's right up there with the first one of the attack scene. And, of course, we do get to see Eddie get killed, which also really does suck because, like, for such a nice dude, Eddie gets fucked up. talked about the gymnastics scene, which I think is pretty much a dumb scene. But the scene that just really it never fits. Every time I watch this movie, it just feels like it's adding another 20 minutes, 15 minutes to this movie. And it's, of course, when the T-Rex goes on the mainland. It's in the city, which obviously biggest plot hole ever. And known man, I do not know how this happened. When the boat crashes onto the mainland, the people on the boat are dead. What killed the people? What attacked them? What made that guy's arm sit there on the wheel? What happened to these people? Because you think the T-Rex attacked them. I don't see the T-Rex being so, like, small enough to go in this little compound and eat this captain and leave his hand right there. That's just me. I'm just saying, it is a plot hole. It's like, who killed the people? The T-Rex? And obviously the T-Rex busts out of the little gate thing on the ship, so, like, the T-Rex is in there. So who killed the people? The T-Rex running through the streets, though, attacking the bus, eating some people and stuff like that. It's enjoyable to see that happen. A T-Rex is literally in the streets killing people. I mean, the great cameo of the T-Rex eating Michael Crichton. That's perfect. That's fine with me. That's a nice little cameo right there. I like that kind of stuff. Of course, I hate it when the T-Rex eats the dog. That sucks. I don't want to see a T-Rex eat a dog. I don't want to see that at all. But obviously, the very end of it, Jeff Goldblum gets the baby dinosaur, gets T-Rex back on the ship, they kill the evil big bad guy, and get the dinosaurs back onto the island Site B, which I don't know if they put him is on Nublar. I think they put him back on Site B. I kind of forget. But either way, the movie wraps up where it's like, hey, dinosaurs on mainland, humans stay in the city. We don't want to go to Isla Nublar. No, you stay there. Overall, ladies and gentlemen, this movie is just underrated to me. It has a darker tone. It's way more intense in some certain scenes, because the first one, it knows how to have fun while being scary and also being more adventurous. This movie is dark, misty, rainy. They're in the woods, they're in the mud. We get to see more of a darker tone Jurassic Park, and that's why I like it so much. It's different from the first one. It's not just repeating what the first one is. That would be boring, and that's what Jurassic World and Fallen Kingdom kind of do. They're just kind of there. They don't feel very impactful. Yes, this movie does end with the dinosaurs being back in the jungle and people in the city, and they kind of just move on. Well, I still think the idea of, like, John Hammond getting sued, Jeff Goldblum going to there, them finding them, trying to get the dinosaurs off the island, this is okay stuff. I'm okay with this. With Dominion coming out, they're going full on dinosaurs on the mainland, which I'm a little nervous about, because this movie just proves, can that idea work? Some people really do. People like me, it's kind of the worst part of this movie for me. But again, I think this movie is so underrated. Jeff Goldblum is great. All the actors are great. Spielberg, I mean, there's nothing to say. He's Spielberg. He makes a masterful looking movie. The music, of course, amazing. The animatronics, amazing. There's a lot of production value that is amazingly to look at. It is a really entertaining movie. It's for sure my second favorite movie of the franchise. It gets a lot of hate I don't fully get, but hopefully this review shows people like, hey, there is goodness in this movie. There's good little things. There's goodness about being very different. You don't want to see the same movie over and over. So I respect the movie for doing that, and also just being a really entertaining movie. It's a good movie for me, and if you disagree with me, that's fine. That's totally okay. I know people think Jurassic Park 3 is the best movie in the franchise. I mean, come on now. I'm gonna give The Lost World Jurassic Park an A-. Sorry for the longer video, but again, I had a lot to talk about, a lot of stuff I really just wanted to talk about this movie because it is a really enjoyable movie for me. Again, I'm a huge fan of the Jurassic Park franchise anyways, so for me to even just love this movie, I appreciate it. Now, next month, I do plan on talking about Jurassic Park 3 again. Like I said, I've already reviewed it, but I want to do it again leading up to Dominion, and I am planning on reviewing Jurassic World and Fallen Kingdom again, all before Dominion. So expect those reviews in the next couple months leading up to Dominion. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. Hopefully you're not just be like, oh, you're reviewing it again. Well, again, better quality video. You get to see my more older self face and better explanation, not just me doing this. Oh, hi guys. Oh, hi everyone. I'm so excited to talk about movies. Yeah, that was annoying me. Now I'm more annoying, but more good looking. Anyway, guys, you guys enjoyed this movie review, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, everyone.